everyone. Yo, it's your boy Gage Gibbons here.
And we'll see.
Welcome to yet another episode of the Acromas Podcast, episode 82. We thank you for joining us once again, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Awesome. Keep listening. I'm glad you were able to join us today. If you are watching our beautiful smiling faces, I'm sure you have some questions. But before we get to that, I want you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. The next time you're on YouTube and you're scrolling down that feed, this episode of the Acromas Podcast, along with all 81 other episodes, will be sitting there waiting for you to play. And most of all, we'll see.
It is free to do so. It's not going to cost you anything but effort and time and commitment to make sure that you can do everything Jay just told you to do. Like our content, subscribe to it, turn on that notification bell, and make sure to share it if you're enjoying what we're giving out. And all these gems we're dropping to you each and every single week consistently, guys. We need to make sure that we are spreading the word of spreading that joy and not just receiving it for our own and being selfish. You know, hoarding is not going to get you anywhere. But if you can manage to do all four of those things that was just mentioned, we greatly appreciate it. And we know that you're rocking with us and giving that love and support out.
Absolutely, we'll see. And I couldn't have said it better myself, man. Look, we've been doing this for quite some time. I know we are still growing as we all are in this community, but we're thankful that we're able to share our experiences with you. What a week it has been, right? I mean, God, there's so many things that happened this week. If you are an NFL fan, hey, preseason has started. Football is back. They've got game. They had games Thursday. They've got games Friday. They got games Saturday and even Sunday. So it's back. Thank goodness. I've missed it so much. And I'm sure all the fans out there have too. Regardless who your team is or the team that you're rooting for, I know you're just glad that sports is at an all-time high right now. It's peaking. So we're in a good place. We were also in a great place last week when we were able to have Kevin back on the Acromas Podcast on episode 81. If you had not gotten a chance to listen, pause this really quick, go back to that. There are a ton of gems in that episode, guys. And the beauty of it is, and I did mention this at least on my personal account at JH Gibbons about the Acromas Podcast and what we do and why we do what we do. And if you get a chance, just hit that username on IG, the Acromas Podcast, and you'll be able to see that second video that's pinned on our profile. You'll get an explanation as to why we do it. It is because of people like Kevin. It is because of people like Al. It's because of people like Lean. It's because of all of the different guests that we've had, my father. All of the guests that we've had on have a story to tell. And it is a story based on what they are doing at this particular time. It is the story of growth at this particular time. It is the story of struggle at this particular time. And I think me reiterating the fact that it's at this particular time, you're seeing all of this happen in real time. It's happening as we speak. So Kevin's journey, whether, even though it started a couple years ago, he is still building towards his purpose. He is still growing toward that. He is still making those moves. And you're able to see it on our podcast and outside of it on his own profile. And it goes to all the guests that we've had on. They are all growing at the same time as we are. So you can take it from people who are not as established as 20 or 30-year veterans who've been there, done that, and are going through it right now in a different social climate and a different financial climate with a whole set of different problems and issues that you and I are probably going through as well. It's much more relatable than other podcast episodes you may see out there because you are literally getting the grind from the people who are grinding, from the people who are literally out there in the trenches doing it every single day and are going through the struggles that you are probably facing right now earlier on in your transition toward your purpose. So if you get a chance, or when you get a chance, go back to episode 81, watch that in its entirety, go through all the other episodes we have. There are tons of gems out there that I know undoubtedly will help you towards understanding what your purpose is.
Oh yeah, it's really about being intentional and investing into yourself, choosing yourself today, and accountability. As we like to talk about here on the Chromas podcast, accountability is really huge in the realm of self development and growing. And these are ways, as Jay just mentioned to you, you could do so today. won't cost you anything but time and effort, commitment to you. And again, it's really a fortunate um, thing that we are able to have guests come on who are willing to be vulnerable, willing to share their story, willing to dive into areas that they maybe haven't stopped along the way to reflect on. It gives them an opportunity and a platform to do so in a way that is unheard of, that you don't really see very often. And if so, is done in a way that is authentic and is true, and it allows you to grow with the as the viewer, and allow us to grow as being able to share this platform with you, with one another, albeit whether we're focusing on fitness and discussing ways of how you can better yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. We deliver it to you in various ways. And having guests on is a wonderful way of allowing us to be able to reflect on others' journeys, to know that we're not in this by ourselves. We are all on the same journey of life. We walk different paths, but we all have a drive, a commitment to ourselves if we choose to. And this is an opportunity for you to be able to do the same and to grow with us. So please definitely go check it out on Jay's personal page, as a reflection of it. I'll be reposting and sharing it as well on my page as well. So you'll be able to see it in addition to here and on Facebook. We'll put that out so that you can have a better understanding as to our true purpose of why we are so consistent and committed to getting this out to you every single week without missing a beat, and our plans of how we're trying to outreach and expand and grow what we're doing so that we truly make a difference in the world, not just say it, but through our actions. And this is a way that we deliver it every week.
100% we'll see. And I'm sure those who are watching, if you're looking at us on YouTube or even on Facebook through video, you're probably wondering, looking at the screen right now, what exactly is going on. I don't worry. I understand what you're asking. I know the question you're asking. I know it's the elephant in the room. So allow me to address it. We'll see. What they're asking is, where in the world could they find our merch? I know, look, I know that's the question you guys are asking right now. Here is what you need to do. You need to go to the Chromas Fitness website. That is chromasfitness.com. You can view all the different merch that we have, whether it's hoodies, shirts, hats, mugs. We have everything on there for you. Over the past few weeks, we have been manipulating our website. We have been trying to enhance the user experience of our website, and we have great news to say that most likely this week we will be back live. So, of course, if you are a frequent visitor of our website, you'll notice that the website is still active. You can still go on, you can still search, but you cannot check out. That will change next week. So we're excited to give you guys that update. I know we've gotten a lot of questions, we've gotten a lot of requests for products, and that is awesome. We love that. We enjoy the vigor that we are putting within our company and our community, and we want to continue to grow with you guys. So just to let you guys know, next week we will be back live. We will be back on, and we will be sharing the good merch with you. Today, however, it brings us to this new episode of the Chromas podcast. And the other question, and I'm sure you're asking yourself, is why am I wearing a hat and shades? Well, it just so happens that in our society today, things are a little bit different. You have to do things that you probably have not done in the past in order to stand out, in order to get clicks, in order to get views, in order to get people asking what the hell is going on. You have to do certain things that you may not ordinarily do. And I've noticed that in different industries, not just in the one we're in, but speaking on the one we're in, I think this is a great opportunity to express some of the frustration that I think we've had with the fitness industry as of late, and why we believe that the industry is being absolutely destroyed by fitness influencers. Now, before I dive in, let me actually take these shades off and welcome my eyes to this beautiful lighting, and allow you to understand exactly where this frustration is coming from. So, I've had the opportunity to be around fitness since I was 12 years old. This is now 20 years officially, since I started exercising in some way, shape, or form. Now, of course, when we're all kids, we don't really understand that we're exercising when we're outside playing. You're outside playing basketball, football, tennis, riding your bike around, whatever you're doing, you're getting some form of cardio. We were always doing that when we were young, right? And I sound like I'm an old guy in a mountain right now, or shaking his fist, telling kids to get off my lawn. But back then, it was a little bit different because we did not have social media. There was no Facebook, there was no IG, there wasn't even a smartphone that we all have now. There was none of this. So we all had the opportunity to live our lives outside of this mobile device or outside of social media. We had an opportunity to connect with others and each other in person, which is so much more different than it is now, where we do have the opportunity to connect with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people a day instantly. So I wanted to dive in on, at least on the fitness side today, because I have been completely disheartened with what I've seen. Of course, over the past, as I mentioned, the past 20 years, been involved around fitness, and I've seen such a change in our culture. I think before there was such an emphasis on personal growth when it came to fitness, that it didn't necessarily require the outside world's approval of how much progress you have made, or the type of exercises that you're putting on display, or just your personal growth in general. There wasn't such an emphasis on approval. There wasn't an emphasis on clout. There was just you, yourself, in the gym. And today it has changed in the worst way. I would say these days it has. And the reason why we really wanted to dive in on this episode about it is because once you've pulled something out of a bottle, it's really hard, if not impossible, to put it back in. Specifically because of the rewards that people are achieving and receiving from these social media accounts, or from putting a lot of this out there, whether it is positive energy that is being placed on these fitness influencers, or it's negative. It's energy in general. It is something that is what a lot of people are trying to achieve in fitness in general. Is just attention. It is people looking for this attention that is now changing the landscape of what fitness used to be. And I kind of struggle to find the words, because it for those who have been lifting for a very long time, or have been involved in fitness for a long time, you understand what I'm talking about. And you've seen some of the videos that are going around now. And it's not so much that people are doing whatever they want to do on social media, and that's absolutely fine. But it is the dangerous stunts. It is the stunts that, of course, people would not pull if there wasn't a camera in front of them. It is that sort of aspect of now fitness jumping into the realm of chaotic or toxic content. And I believe that is dangerous, because what these what these other people, including myself, are seeing is that the mega influencers, those who have, one by over 1 million followers on some of these accounts, they are leading the front. They're leading the industry. So accounts like House of Highlights rather, or ESPN, or any sort of sports related or fitness related account that has a massive influence, they are now putting this out there as the content to be a part of. So now, in order to go viral, I do understand that you have to do certain things that may not necessarily be something that is safe to do, or encouraging for others to be able to reach their fitness goals. I completely understand that. But there is no reason why somebody should be lunging bleachers. There is no reason why somebody should be doing squats on 50-foot high tires. There's no reason why somebody should be doing backflips off mountains into push-ups. There's no connection to actual physical growth when it comes to these things. And the reason why I'm bringing attention to it now is because of the link that we have had to things that go viral, what this means is that you have to become even more and more and more creative to just get the bottom line of exposure that you require. And that goes for anybody who is in the fitness industry now. It is going to get progressively harder to become noticed because you are now competing with stupidity. And it is almost impossible to compete with stupidity because there is no level that stupidity would stoop in order to gain recognition for what stupidity is. So I've in the past, because this is starting to become something big, I've had the opportunity to reach out to other fitness influencers that are in the space, specifically on IG. I'm not going to call them out here because that's not what I want to do. But I would say, let's just call him DB. I asked them a question straight up because I saw one of the videos that he was doing. I think what they were doing is they were curling or attempting to curl 275 pounds with a barbell, and it was a couple of them. So they were both doing it in tandem. And I think they probably got 1 or 2 reps. So I had to ask the question like, look, be honest with me. If Instagram was not a place, if the fitness industry on social media was not where it is now, would you be doing this? Flat out, he said, I would not be doing this. And to me, that told me exactly all I needed to hear. Fitness on social media is now about clout chasing, is now about doing extraordinary things in order to go viral instead of just going back to what got us there in the first place or got what got them there in the first place. It wasn't the jumping jack into push up, into dumbbell curl, into backflip, into pool dive. It was the standard curls. It was the standard squats. It always has been and it always will be. It is the standard deadlift. It is the standard bench press. It is the standard power clean. It that is still and should be the standard. And because we have now leapt into the stratosphere of clout when it comes to the fitness industry, I feel as though we can't put that genie back into the bottle. I feel as though now watching somebody sprint down a road and create some motivational content for you to watch and see and become inspired is no longer enough. Not to say they're no longer enough, but it is no longer enough to go viral on social media. It's no longer enough to even get noticed. Forget going viral. Forget getting millions and millions of views on a specific video or photo or whatever. It will no longer be the case because the ordinary is now boring. The ordinary is now no longer getting clicks because of those massive, massive influential accounts are not deeming that worthy of being on their page. What they are looking at and what they are deeming worthy to be on their page is stupidity. It is unsafe workouts. It is what is the most incredibly idiotic or ridiculous thing I can do to go viral. And once you start getting fitness influencers thinking like this, you have completely lost the industry, at least on the social media side. I know outside of that, people are still going to work out. We're still going to go to the gym, and I understand that. But for those who are in the industry and for those who have the purpose of becoming fitness influencers or are in that space, understanding that online is probably the best way to go right now because everybody's online. That is exactly how you can reach the most people. A lot of people are clout chasing now when it comes to the fitness industry. And look, we've seen it in professional and personal development. That's also part of what we're in, self-help. That is literally that industry is ripe with that. It's ripe with con men and women. It's ripe with oils or snake oil salesmen. That that is already established. So the fact that it is now moving towards fitness influencers with that same sort of dirt, that same sort of filth, it is alarming. And I wanted to get on here on my little soapbox on episode 82 and announce that it is only going to get worse. So if you are a fitness influencer and you're wondering why you making growth in your push-ups or your pull-ups or whatever you are doing in the gym or at home, you're wondering why you're not getting much exposure, whether you're consistent, whether you're using the right hashtags, the right lighting, the right video set, whatever. None of that matters anymore. None of it matters anymore. And I'm telling you this from experience. We'll see. I know we've been doing this for 82 episodes. What we do is it's so unique, yet quite basic, because I think a lot of us understand that what we say is making sense to them. It's not something, it's not rocket science. It's not something that we're not doing surgery here, right? We're not, but we're using our experience to allow you to understand what it takes to be what you want to be and everything you can be in this world. And that is what we do every week. Now, unfortunately, because we are not wearing hats or fedoras or glasses or shades, some of this is not ever going to get talked about, at least not now, and at least not in that same space as those who are doing some of the craziest things on social media to go viral. And the companies who are leading the charge in social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, they are all about virality, because they're all about all those things that can go viral. They're all about capturing that, because of course it captures the most engagement, it captures the most views, and I completely understand that. But when you absolutely destroy the integrity of an entire industry or a sport, it completely erases all the work that everybody has had to do to get to this point, and it then turns into clout. So I do want to dive in a little bit further now and explain what I mean when it comes to clout, what I'm talking about when it comes to these fitness influencers that are I believe are destroying the industry. To start off, we can start in the realm of unrealistic expectations. So for many of those folks, many of you who have seen videos on social media of fitness influencers who have been doing this for many years, you may see their body. That's probably the first thing they see, right? That's probably the first thing you see. You see the abs, you see the pecs, you see the biceps, you see the inserts, you see the legs, the quads, the hamstrings, whatever, the calves, and immediately you want that, right? I think everybody does. I think everybody out there, you're looking at that and you're saying, man, I wish I had a body like that. I wish I can do that. I wish I could look like that. I wish I could be in that space. um but what I have to tell you is that for many of us out there, it is almost impossible to look exactly like many of these fitness influencers out there. There are so many different things that a lot of those influencers don't touch on. The reason is because they aren't not necessarily allowed to, and it may have a negative effect on their business, and I'll explain why. A lot of these fitness influencers, in order for them to make money, in order for them to be able to live their lives the way they are, which is traveling and doing model photo shoots, or doing certain exercises and capturing in the gym, is because of sponsors. I'm sure some of the videos you've probably seen people working out next to fitness bottles, or wearing some gear, or you know working out with some supplements that are next to them. Even for some of the posts that we've made in the past, we've had fitness influencers wear our gear as well, and this is because they were sponsored, which means that either they were paid financially, or they were promoted on a specific from a specific company online to promote their gear, because of how they look. Now, the one thing that many of the fitness influencers out there will not talk about, because it will affect their bottom dollar and their bottom line, is the fact that many of them, if not 95 to 99% of them, are using performance enhancing drugs. And the reason I say that, and I marry that up with unrealistic expectations, is because you won't look like these people unless you take what they are taking. And it's not to say that they are literally sitting down, pumping themselves up with drugs, and they automatically look like that. They are still working their ass off. I will give them credit for that, and we all will. They are. They're pushing hard. They're working in the gym, but the drugs that they're using is allowing them to do that at the level they're doing that at. With some of the weights that you see people lifting, whether it's 700-800 pounds on the bench, that might be unheard of, because it is for the normal human being, or for someone like you, myself, or for Will C, to get in shape and not use any of the drugs that they're using to expect to hit 800 pounds in our lifetime is damn near impossible. And I think not only that, but the physiques that a lot of these fitness influencers have, it is not sustainable. Many of them, especially the ones that you're seeing online, they may have 5% body fat, 2% body fat. And I would say now that that is unsustainable. So what you're probably seeing is somebody who is on drugs that could allow them to function at such a very, very low body fat percentage, or at the time that they're taking these videos, or they're taking photos, they are either going through a massive, massive cut in calories in order to get this appearance for the gram, so to speak, and right after, maybe in their off season, or a few days after, they go through a binging cycle where they can eat as many calories as they can, and of course their physique changes a bit. So I think to start off, it's important to understand that if you are chasing these body types, number one, there's a good chance that you may not ever achieve that, but it does not mean that you can't get your body in the best shape of your life. It does not mean that you can't still go the route of creating goals that are attainable for yourself, and understand that your body will definitely change dramatically, but there's a high chance that you're not going to get boulder shoulders just from doing shoulder shrugs or lateral raises or shoulder press. There's a massive chance that you're not going to get quads the size of tree trunks just by doing squats every day. We just want to make sure that you understand when you're going into the gym that yes, you will change your physique if you are eating healthy, if you are exercising right, if you are consistent, if you are getting the right amount of macros in, if you're consuming the right amount of calories, the right amount of protein, all of those things, there is a strong chance that you will see a change in your body. But if you are looking to mirror a lot of these people who are claiming themselves to be natural athletes for their entire life, number one, their body type is probably one of one, right? That's the other sign that we have not really talked about, is that there are genetic freaks out there. Some of them playing the NFL, some of them playing the NBA, some of them playing baseball, soccer, whatever. All of those sports contain the one of one type athletes that you're seeing.
That's true.
But on top of that, too, we'll see. On top of that, a lot of them, many of them may have used certain drugs in the past in order to get to where they are today, in order to maintain the physique that they have. And I think the other side of that too, especially because of some of the calorie counts that you see a lot of these athletes taking, especially if you're a larger size man, a 6'6", 330-pound male playing in the NFL, you're consuming maybe 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day. However, because of the lifestyle they're living, they are burning almost as much in a day. So we have to make sure that you guys understand and put that into perspective. If you are attempting to look like one of these guys, number one, it may not be possible for you based on your genetics, based on your ability to pack on muscle or to lose fat. It may not be in the cards for you naturally. Now, I did mention PED usage, and that is not something that we are promoting here. But quite frankly, if you want to gain that size, that is the way that you would go. That is the way that many of these fitness influencers that you've seen online are going. And I need you to know that some of the supplements that they're promoting, those supplements did not necessarily get them to that stage. You've seen many of these fitness influencers for a long time have only started promoting certain supplements now, even after they've gotten the body and the health that they've been able to achieve, where they're at their absolute peak. That is when they're being promoted by these companies, because these companies see them as people who are attracting others, their own customer base. So they're taking advantage of this person's body to be able to promote their product. Basically, what they're saying is, hey, if you use our product, this is how you end up looking. When 9 times out of 10, that is not the case. So I think it's important right there for you to understand that that is where that connection is. Um, and like I said, we mentioned unrealistic expectations, guys. When you're going into the gym, understand that it is going to take a long time for you to get to where you're going. Yesterday we'll see, or a few days ago, I did post myself deadlifting 495. Now, I want to start off by saying that people may think that is a clout chase because I am now starting to try to lift weight that is heavier than I typically am showing. But the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to prove a point. Number one, I am on a journey right now of definitely putting on more muscle. But not only that, I'm on a journey for powerlifting. I want to hit certain numbers, so I'm going to be posting that. But I wanted to post myself at a specific point, showing you that, yeah, while I can get this weight, this is going to be a slow grind. It is going to be a slow climb, and you are going to see the transition each and every week as you pay attention to what we are doing. And it's the same thing with Will C. As Will C continues to work out, as he continues to push, as he continues to grow, you will constantly see those things. And this will allow you to understand how you can manage expectations for yourself when it comes to lifting, when it comes to working out, when it comes to doing cardio. It's not something that happens overnight. I am not going to get to deadlifting 700 pounds tomorrow. I will be starting at the 495 that you saw. And then next week, I might go to 500 or 505. The following week, 515. The following 530. And I am expecting to get to a point where I may plateau. And then I transition into doing other things. But you will get to see the transition happen in front of you, and you can manage expectations that way to understand that you have to be consistent, and it is best to grow 1% at a time. That helps you to avoid injury. It helps you to avoid straining your muscles, or just being realistic with yourself that a climb of over 100 pounds in a matter of weeks is not possible without the use of PEDs, or hell, even with the use of that, it takes a lot out of you to get to that point. So we'll see, man. I'd love to get some of your take here before we do continue into why this is becoming dangerous for our fitness industry. To see some of the fitness influencers that we have, it's an understanding that things, and at least in my opinion, are going down the wrong route here.
Yeah, I definitely would like to just kind of elaborate a little bit more on that. For those who are watching at this time, my son is joining us as well. So pardon me even if I'm caught between thought. So I think we live in a time where instant gratification is law, right? It seems to be that way. Yeah. Okay. Like instant gratification, like or like whatever catches your attention in that moment, it seems to be what's the number one thing. And like you said, I agree completely. Where like a lot of the times you'll see a person at their peak without necessarily seeing the journey along the way. Uh, Obviously, a lot of supplements or whatever is being used, we are unaware of what's got them there. But a lot of the time, the product that they're marketing isn't what got them there. I do agree with that completely, and that a lot of the times people see it and they say, "I want that," but they aren't willing to commit themselves to like learning their body type, learning what works for them, and understanding that you're not going to look exactly how that person looks.
Right.
You have to factor a lot of it in, like you said, genetics, bone density, mass, water weight intake, what affects your body. You have to take the time to learn your BMI. You got to learn all of these things about your body type, frame structure, to see what would be more beneficial to you. And most importantly, you have to go through trial and error to learn that. And I think a lot of the times that part is forgotten about, the journey that is going to require that you. It's going to require commitment to you. And that, again, instant gratification is not going to be key to getting you where you're trying to go. So if you're someone who's trying to drop weight, you have to set a realistic expectation for yourself, a legitimate time frame is it, but give yourself some grace in between to learn your body in the process so that you can maximize your results. A lot of the times that isn't what's happening. And then you find yourself in a position where you just give up entirely. A lot of people, they go hard for like the first 2 weeks. I'll give you even a month, maybe. And because they're not seeing the results as quickly as they desire, they stop without factoring in maybe I'm not doing the right type of workouts that's best suited for my body type, for my structure to get the results. Maybe my dietary game plan isn't as strategic as I needed to be for what I'm trying to work on, certain parts of my body that you don't always notice right away the integral changes that are happening to you, but this happening inward, and your body is starting to try to get itself accustomed to what one who's carrying around more mass and you're trying to lose weight naturally, you're going to probably see an instant sort of approach to it within the first week or two, being consistent with it and committed to whatever plan you have. But you have to also factor those things with calorie ratio of intake versus deficit. You have to. It's a lot that you have to factor in. And again, I guess I'm just trying to say, all in all, is that it really is about you. It's really about how you go about managing what's best for you. Now, if you get caught into the rabbit hole of what you visually see of these mirages, social media, then you're gonna get lost in it. Because a lot of these people, they also get surgery done. They get a lot of work done to get that instant look because they don't want to do the work. And frankly speaking, who really do want to go through pain, right? But if you really think about it for a second, you deal with adversity in all forms and ways of your life. It helps to develop your character as a person. It helps to define who you are. So when you do hit that wall of adversity and those really hard times, you have what it takes to persevere. It's no different with fitness. If anything, it's more empowering when you can get the results that you're looking for on your own, your way. Now, mind you, there are supplements out there to help with your body, where maybe in some cases your body isn't generating certain hormones or things on its own that you need. Older in age, so you need stuff to help for your bones, to help with protect yourself, help with your recovery time. There are supplements out there that I believe is a good supplements to help you with these things in the area, or your everyday vitamins that you take. Those go a long way too. Just investing into your body and just making sure that you're consistent with your workout, whatever regimens, adjusting them as you need to when you feel as though you are plateauing in different areas. Give your body a nice shock. But if you're basing the consensus of like, I want to be like this bodybuilder that I see, but that's not what I do as a career, right? Because you got to factor that in too.
Mm.
Track star. I don't run. I'm not a professional track runner. I don't. You have to think of it in these ways where that's not my choice of career of what I'm doing. Personal trainer is different things you have to look at so that you can kind of take a reality check on how you're approaching it, because I think that's a big part of it too, Jay. It's like how people approach the process, where you just say, I'm going to be shredded by next summer. Nah, like if you get to where you're trying to go, great. But whether it's the summer or the winter or the spring or the fall, whatever it is, you get to where you want, it's going to take time with consistency. I didn't drop for myself personally the way I had dropped instantly. It was a period of getting myself set to a regimen that I was dedicated. I committed myself to the 21-3 method that we provide to you, presented by Chromas, of me tracking my progress with Jay as along the journey with me to understand the mindset that I had to approach to take this, to focus on the physical aspects of it as well, spiritual side of it's so many factors that goes into self-development, because the reality of it is, while you're seeing all these things manifested out there for these people, life is still happening around. You're only seeing that moment caught in time of whatever that looked like, but you're forgetting the behind the scenes of life that goes on for 23 hours plus outside of whatever time you spent looking at that, right? So you have to really approach life in a certain way that's realistic so that you can maintain as you're on your way to that journey, creating stepping stones that you can achieve and get to ultimately get the goal that you're trying to hit. So for me, that's what led to my success, because I took the time to understand that it wasn't going to be an overnight approach. It wasn't going to be easy, and I didn't expect it to be. But I wanted to be better for me. I didn't want to look like anyone else. I didn't want to be like anyone else. I just wanted to be the best that I could be for me. Um, I wanted to challenge myself and set realistic goals, which I accomplished each one. And even in this season now of where I'm at in my life years later, I'm at a place where I'm approaching it differently because my body's adjusting and is adapting in how I approach my workout method. So I have to alter and adjust from my plateauing or from injuries that I had along the way. Because sometimes you could push yourself too hard, right? When you get into a season of thriving and hitting these goals. So you have to be really mindful about how you treat yourself and you treat the process. You have to respect it. You have to honor what that is so that you value the results you get, right? A lot of these people that you see on these platforms, this is their being of income, right? This is how they sustain their living. Like Jay said, off of endorsements and things like that. And that's cool. But if this isn't something that's your avenue, what you're trying to do, then you really need to look into why you're doing it to begin with, right? Because if you're doing it for the attention of anybody else, you're going about it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
You've already failed yourself, and you won't. I stand 10 toes down. You won't accomplish whatever it is you're setting out to do goal wise, because it isn't coming from where it matters most, right? You don't realize how much you matter in the process for your development, for your health, for loving yourself the right way. It's this weird reality of like social reality, as I like to think of it, that you're trying to sustain up to an image, and at some point you burn out. So it won't stay, it won't be consistent, because you don't have a true purpose as to why you're doing it, other than to appease the means of others. And again, if this is not your career choice or path that you're benefiting from, that hence if you are taking these performance enhancements and you're consistent with that, it will come back on you as you age. It will affect you as you get older. And that's something that is hush hush a lot of the times that people don't want to talk about, but it's true. So be very wary of what that looks like, right? I'd rather take the slow pace, the slow route of developing myself, of taking care of myself and understanding my body as I'm going along, right? I think that's the biggest thing to me, Jay. People don't really take the time to love, but when we say love yourself,
Yeah.
that's mean. And now you see in these reels, you see, I saw it early this morning. You see people doing the most absurd things, lifting couches,
Yep.
a
Yep.
bouncing ball. Like, what the hell does that mean? What does that have to do with fitness and development, right? You got this superhero looking person that's just doing this, and they get millions of views and likes, and that's totally cool. But the sacrifice of what they're putting and the strain on their body is so immense that you won't realize it. You won't realize it until they're much older. But by that point, they fell off your radar. So it's not like you really kept track of them, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to someone you can actually watch that's putting the work in, that's on a process on a daily or a regular basis, that you can actually see where the work is going on, the commitment, the mindset, track their journey, because it's more empowering to me. You realize that there's so many people who you realize that's just like you. But you can lead by example and be the difference, right? And the reward that you get is that you feel better for it. You feel better inward, you feel better outward. It's more encouraging, you feel more confident in everything else that you're doing in your life, and it's something that's sustained, um, because you've allowed your body to mature into it, and you've taken the time to develop yourself. So in this season, with what you see, if you go check out on our Chroma's Fitness website, or just in general, you can check out IG page. You can see the consistency of what we're giving. And a lot of the times, there's so much more that you see behind the scenes. Like I give you, for example, by the time you see us really recording or showing you what we've done, it's not like we just started hit it and wanted to show you why we're in it, but while we're fresh. a lot of times we're already worn out. We've already put the time into the workout and giving you like the most exhausting. And maybe I'm going into one of my bad tricks, Jay, but by the time I share anything that I'm recording of myself, I look at it for my form. I go back to see exactly as to how I'm performing and when I'm not at my peak, but when I'm exhausted, because then I have to, because I'm conscious in my mind for my next workout. Okay, I didn't throw this overhand the right way. I didn't put enough torque into my spin. I didn't get a good lift on my high knees. I didn't elevate my push-ups the right way when I started hitting exhaustion. There's things that I'm looking at it as well for myself and my development. And most importantly, I would want the world to see, not when I'm at my best, when I'm lifting a goddamn couch. Like I'm sorry, because no one should be doing that. It should not, because it's giving a false advertisement of what's safe and what's okay to do. And some folks are absent-minded at times enough to try to do it because monkey see, monkey do. But remember, it's not your circus, not your monkeys. So stay out of the zone of that completely. It's not your element.
Yeah.
Focus on what's realistic and what you could do. So a lot of the time, we put out there what when we are in the mental aspect of the grind, when you are tired and you are pushing through, and you have to find your purpose, your why, and it should be very simple. The why should be you, because you matter. So I think that's what it really comes down to Jay. Just not getting caught into the flashing lights of what all that looks like, and just taking the time to realize why you're doing this, be intentional, be mindful, be patient, be kind, love yourself through the process. And I promise you, you'll love the journey along the way. Every pound that you drop, every weight that you gain of muscle, every part of it that you're looking to see the results, you're going to be so damn proud of yourself. Earned every bit of it for you, for you.
Mm. That's big, we'll see. And I think you nailed it on the head, especially when you talked about going back and looking at what you did. Looking to make sure that you okay, I need to throw this overhand better. I need to do this and do that. I do the same thing when it comes to looking at the reps that I'm doing. Okay, maybe I need to lock my hips a little bit more when I'm pulling. Maybe I need to dig a little bit deeper in the hole when I'm squatting. Maybe when I'm benching, oh, I need to let me pull it a little bit over my chest a little bit more rather than my head. So that's absolutely right. And I think that's sort of I want to say that's the influential part of the fitness side that a lot of people could be taking advantage of right now. And the good part about it is, even on those videos where you're seeing people lift couches or do backflips off doors into push-ups and then into jumping jacks with crunches and pull-ups at the same time, you are seeing in those comments that people are also sick of that crap too. There are people that are watching them like, yo, what is this doing? This has no value. And I'm like, yes, guys, keep doing that. Because the more and more people start realizing that it has no value, the quicker we would go back to what fitness truly is. And it's about improving yourself. It's about improving your health. It's about improving your body, learning so much about the growth that you have within yourself is what that is all about. And I've even started I started seeing some fitness influencers do the same thing. Somebody like Joey Swole, who I've followed for years now. Shout out to him. But what he's starting to do, besides just posing and showing the photos as everybody else does, in order for him to stand out, as we talked about earlier, he's been doing his workouts and then doing voiceovers over what people are watching in his workout. If he's doing lateral pull downs, what it'll do is explain why you should rotate your arms or your shoulders this way, why your back should be fixated this way in order to get the best out of your workout. And I think that is wonderful. And another thing he is starting to do now is he would do, like, if he sees a reel where somebody is in the gym and they're complaining about something, or they're putting somebody else down, or they're putting out negative energy, he would call those people out on a real remix and talk about why they shouldn't do that, why you should be uplifting to others in the gym, why you should always be sure to focus on yourself as you're lifting, focus on your own growth. And I'm like, yes, we need more influencers like that. We need somebody who has, millions and millions of followers to be trying to lead the charge in that direction. because I think the wonderful thing about fitness is that we can all connect with each other. I connect with so many people, not just online, but in the gym itself. I've been able to build friendships and relationships with people I exercise with because we all know what it takes to get to that level where you are in sync with your workouts, you understand what your body is looking like, the growth is seen and felt throughout yourself and others who have watched you from the minute you came in to where you are now, depending where you are in your journey. And you could connect on that, you can connect on the struggle, you can connect on the growth that you've had to go through, not just physically but mentally. You can go through nutritional tips that have helped, your fellow man or fellow woman lose weight to get to the body goals that they've had for themselves. So I think it is still important to have fitness influencers and to be influenced by fitness itself, but it's also important to understand what those expectations look like for yourself, because you are only in competition with yourself. You're only looking to better yourself. You're going against yourself every single day to pull yourself up from the ground in order to grow as high as you possibly can. And that doesn't go for just the fitness realm, but in life in general. Always work to become the better you each and every day of your life. And when it comes to fitness influencers online, just understand that what you're seeing is just like any under industry that is on social media right now. It is all just a microcosm of everything else that is going on around that particular industry. So any image that you're seeing of somebody who has just had a great workout or is working out in that video, just know that once that camera is done rolling, they are probably not doing that same workout that they were showing. They're showing it just for you to see it and for you to be able to react to it. But it's important to understand that when you are in the gym, when you are lifting, when you are doing your own thing, when you are trying to achieve the goals that you have set in front of you, focus on yourself, focus on you, focus on moving 1% at a time, not moving couches, not moving bleachers, not moving buses. Focus on moving yourself, focus on growing, focus on building yourself. And that, I truly believe, is the best way in order to reach your goals, especially when we're talking about fitness.
Yeah, I agree 120%. I don't think it could be put really any clearer than that, Jay. I just say, everyone be accountable for where you are, particularly since where the subject is on fitness and what our observations are on what we see on social media. And try not to be swayed by the obvious insanity of what doesn't make sense. Um, just be accountable. Be accountable for your development. Be committed to yourself, um, and then implement consistency. First and foremost, action. And if you could manage to do those things, um, and just take your time, be patient with yourself throughout the process. Each step along the way will be rewarding in itself. You've already succeeded because you are given that opportunity of 1% every day to yourself. And that's all you can really do is to take the first step, to apply yourself. And if you can do those things, guys, I can attest to it, as someone who made a complete 180 in my lifestyle of my mindset, uh, through fitness, uh, appearance of transformation, um, to attest that it's not just the physical aspect of what you see, but like it's sustainable if it's you, if it's you choosing you,
Mhm.
and it becomes a true lifestyle as to who you are. You're being true to yourself. So if you're trying to be someone that you're not, then you will always show through whoever you truly are. So if you take the time to learn who you are, learn what best fits you in fitness, as we're discussing on that, it's going to help to change and reevaluate every other aspect of your life. Um, Now, if you're someone who wants to go around lifting buses and lifting cars, then kudos to you, man. But I'm looking for sustainability. I believe our listeners are looking for sustainability. And if this is your first time listening to us, hopefully you can walk away feeling reassured that maybe some of what you thought about of what was spoken on today, you're not alone in it, because there's a whole community behind you who feels the same way and are choosing to commit to themselves, empower themselves to just be better and know their worth and live in it. So give yourself an opportunity today to do those things, guys. Just reflect on, all we ask is that you reflect on what we said. If you don't agree with whatever we said, it doesn't make sense to you, okay, we accept it as that. And we wish you the best endeavor on your journey. And we wish you a safe passage on how you get there. But if you're willing to commit yourself, to love yourself, to choose you, to choose joy in the process of rehabilitating physical appearance, inward, outward, and just ultimately the joy of the journey in it, then come along the ride with us, because this is what we're doing and we can attest to it, and we stand 10 toes down on it. You can go check on Acromas Fitness. You can check out personal pages as well. This is what we do. We don't say, we're actually living it. We're actually legitimately living it, and we're actually showing as well and trying to help educate as to how to go about this safely, and in a way that best works for you, the individual. That's all we're trying to do.
Absolutely, we'll see. And look, we've been trying to do this for 81 episodes. This is our 82nd one, and we will continue to try to do that in order to provide an avenue for you to understand how you can build attainable goals, how you can build healthy habits for yourself, and how you can move towards your purpose. So I know we were talking a hell of a lot about influencers today. And we want to now turn it over to you. We want to be influenced by your story. We want our community to be influenced by your story. So at this time, if you're watching this and you want to interact with this Acromas podcast episode, tell us in detail about your own fitness journey. Tell us in detail about your own fitness experience. On the next episode of your Chromas podcast, and even before then, this will be featured on it so that you can get an opportunity to not only see how you may be able to influence somebody out there who's going through the same struggles that you went through, and you're also providing a solution for those people who may be struggling, who may have plateaued in their weights, or who no longer is able to lose the weight at the rate that they used to be able to lose it. This is another opportunity for you to make your voice heard, so that the rest of our community can learn from you. We can all learn from each other. We can all grow with each other, and we can all learn how to manage expectations together. So once again, we want to thank you for joining and watching episode 82 of the Acromas podcast. If you're listening, you're probably listening on Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and we thank you for joining us there. If you're watching, here is what I need you to do once again. First of all, let me spell it out for you for those who have been here before and you still don't know what we are about. ACHROMOUS. Ladies and gentlemen, every single week we are putting these gems out there for you. If you are watching our faces, it means you can only be watching this on YouTube. So you need to do 3 things for me at this time if you have not done so before. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Here's what happens. The next time that you hop on YouTube, the next time you open that app on your phone or on your desktop, here's what will happen. You will see the latest episode of your Chromas podcast. You will get these gems. You will get the opportunity to listen to some of the best advice out there in the personal development industry, in the self-help industry, in the fitness industry, just for you to be able to hear it every single week without fail. And most of all, will see.
It is free to do so, guys.
Unbelievable.
Gosh, it is free to do so. It is also free to share the content that we are giving out as well with those you feel could benefit from it, just like you. These gems we dropped today focus and centered around on fitness and self-development, self-empowerment, growth, and just consistency and learning how to properly love you outside of the social media that you see and the facade that's up, that's all around. This is what this episode was about for you today. So please make sure to do all those things Jay mentioned, like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and then share the content so that we can spread this message throughout the world.
100% we'll see. And like we always say, man, we do this because of growth. We do this because we love to not only hear stories and tell them, but we love to be a part of it. So next week on the Achromas podcast, I'm having the pleasure of being able to have we are having the pleasure to be able to have on Dr. Sandra Lipinski. She moved here from Guyana. She's now in Wisconsin, and she owns her own business. She's running her own clinic. We'll get a chance to sit down and understand her journey, understand some of the struggles and challenges that she had to get to the point that where she is today, and some advice that she may be able to give to you who are on your journey as well. Whether you're in the healthcare industry, whether you're an entrepreneur, she's a mix of both, and she'll be able to give us all some advice on how she's been able to grow so quickly and to be able to establish herself as one of the leaders in healthcare today.
Oh, can't wait, man. Exciting. Just a beautiful opportunity to learn another's journey on life as our own. Just another venture of life, another perspective, refreshing, and just gems that's going to be dropped to share with us to remind us that we're not alone. We're not by ourselves. So really looking forward to this one. And you know how it is every time we have a guest on, guys. So be ready to come, get your book ready, get your pen ready, get your notepad ready, get your iPhone, Android notes ready, whatever you need to start capturing those gems as it's happening live in real time for you.
100% we'll see. And look, we want to thank you once again for joining the Achromas podcast. Until next week, ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy J.H. Gibbons.
We'll see.